This week in games, let's talk the Switch 2 leaks, Square Enix ends Harrassment, and the Game Awards show that you should actually pay attention to. This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 234. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hi, guys. My name's Connor Elliott. I got starstruck because I just saw the model for Mai Shiranui, the new Street Fighter character.
Okay. Looks good.
Very good.
Oh, very nice. Okay, great. I'm so excited for you there, Connor.
I'm very happy for myself as well.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. I didn't pull up any of the things I needed to pull up, Connor.
Oh, bother. Luckily, they're all in one place.
Yes, Connor, they are all in one place, and that is, of course, our Substack. We are going to go through the news of the week, and Connor himself wrote up.
I tried to change
crazy picture for this.
I tried to change that.
You gotta go to 2pennygamesnews.substack.com and see the fucking thing for one of the stories here. Why can't I click on this?
I included an image in the story, and it automatically made it the thumbnail, and I realized that after. And it's a pain in the ass to change the thumbnails. I don't know why. It's easy to change anything else, but I struggled.
You struggled. Okay,
yeah.
Well,
But, it's funny that it's up there. I kind of decided, that's going to bring somebody in. It's just...
Okay, so these are new. Did you
yeah, because I updated it.
You updated it.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not updating every week.
That's weird. Yeah.
That is weird. We're going to have to look into that. All right. Now, who even knows if the people hear that? What order the stories are in today?
The stories are... Wait, we might as well do a little bit of preview here. Well, we already did the
Probably
preview.
going to cut this.
Yeah, probably. Okay. First, it goes, docs closed. The Switch 2, DICE,
Okay.
Annapurna, Square Enix. Bim, bam, boom.
All right. Fantastic. So, now we have all the stories pulled up. We can get into it. Of course, this is the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Of course, you can read all of the stories that we... how would I say that?
That we
read aloud? I don't want to say read both times. That's weird. Connor writes the stories. Go to TwoPennyGames.substack.com, and you can see all of our stories up on there. You can also, if we can ever figure out how to get the RSS feed to update properly, you can also catch all of our stuff there. So subscribe to us over there if you'd like. And of course, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, whether that's youtube.com/@2pennygames or other mainstream podcast services of your choice. You can always get this show at Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames and other mainstream podcast services. Alongside watching us live the day before, Monday afternoons, twitch.tv/2pennygames, where we record all of our podcasts for the week live. So make sure you follow us over there on that. Follow us on all of our social medias. Links are in the description down below. Specifically, that TikTok ban is imminent. So make sure you're following us over on YouTube and on Instagram Reels to still get our short form 1 minute long content on both of those platforms. And if a new TikTok appears, we will eventually be there as well. But TikTok in the States, it's going down. It does not look like that there's going to be a consensus on that. It's just going to get banned here. So we will no longer be having support on TikTok, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. American senators and governors and all of them would rather ban a social media site where, white girls do silly dances instead of handling, children getting shot in schools.
Well, it's exactly because those kinds of things in Palestine happened that they said they were getting rid of TikTok. They said that on the Senate floor or House floor.
What are you saying?
Basically, they said one of the reasons they want to get rid of TikTok was because a lot of stuff related to what's happening to Palestinians at the hands of the Israelis is going on. And so they said that's promoting that too much, so they want to get rid of it.
Wow.
Plus China, because that's the only way they access our information, not through Facebook and X and all
Well,
other social
here's the
media
thing,
accounts.
Connor. Those are American companies who then sell your information to China, whereas TikTok, I guess, just gets it. China just gets it through TikTok.
Which is funny because it's not even a Chinese company.
It's owned by the parent company is a Chinese company.
Yeah.
But it's a Singaporean company. Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, and they have nothing to do with China.
When the fucking guy at like the head of
What an embarrassing moment for Americans, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Constantly had to say I'm not with the Chinese government. I think he served in the the Indonesian military, the Singaporean military, and which is like I didn't.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with it, and they just kept hammering with. He's like, guys, I don't know how else to say this. Like, I'm not affiliated with the Chinese government. Like, what are you doing? Such a sad point. Anyways, the point of all that, make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment down below in the comments below. I actually want to start off this week, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what I meant to do last week and just forgot. I want to reply to some comments.
Oh,
you know? So I got 2 or 3 here for us here. And of course I can't see it.
Uh-oh. Pulling it up.
I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
Or you can blow up the Discord.
I don't know how to do that, and so we're just going to do this. We're just going to do this. So, Connor, on our Dead Space is Officially Dead video, which did quite well. Thank you so much for watching and liking that video. Darren Garout 7744 said, I was really hoping we'd at least get a Dead Space 2 remake. I think if they want to do a Dead Space 4, then they need to remake 3 with a clearer story to lead into 4. Ideally, the remake of 3 would spend more time in the ship graveyard than being down on the planet. I disagree. I think if we're going to make a new Dead Space game, we just need to go in a completely new direction. Still have the same like tropes and imagery of Dead Space, of course, but new character, new story, new, the evil cult is doing evil cult things on a different ship, planet, excavation site. You got a new character, same general idea. You're not a soldier. You're just some like maintenance guy or whatever. Engineer, maintenance, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, to make it a little bit different, but still the same. But yeah, I think we should abandon the if we were to ever continue Dead Space, we should abandon that story.
If only we were having the option to explore those, but we don't.
On our video, The Console War is Over. This is, of course, the video where analysts were saying that after this next generation, one of the big 3 is going to stop making consoles. Metalhead 5707 says, it's only a matter of time before Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo are only around because they sell controllers. That's all they're good for at this point.
Mm-hmm. They make good controllers.
Maybe. But they also make really good video games. So, like, they're a little bigger than that, but I get what you mean, like, on a hardware side. Yeah, everything is eventually going to go streaming. It's going to take about 10 years, but, it is going to be there eventually. And then finally, I want to bring up on our BioShock is Wildly Overrated video, where we reviewed BioShock on the 2PennyGames Club, which is our monthly video game book club where we review and rank video games amongst the other games in that series. You should watch it. It's the best show we do. Tom S17X had a very, very, very long reply to that. So thank you, Tom, for replying to that. And he does go on and say, so I do think you should go and see the full comment here. But one thing that he said that grabbed my attention was in his first paragraph, he said, it managed to tell a compelling story through the world and gameplay rather than cutscenes. That's not something unique to BioShock. Like, plenty of games did that before and after BioShock. That's not a BioShock thing. Like, Half-Life exists, my brother. So thank you for your comment, but let's dig a little deeper into our video game history here.
Also, Dark Messiah, Might and Magic.
I think he did bring up that game. I think he did bring up that game in his comment. I saw somebody somebody in the comments on that video brought up Dark Messiah. I think it was Tom. But yeah, somebody did bring that up. So I thought that was interesting. Funny. Connor, let's move on to our first topic of the day. Is this your topic or my topic?
You said you want to DICE and Square Enix.
Okay.
So I guess I'll do...
There you go. You're this one. There we go. So go ahead, take it away, my friend. First topic of the day.
Well, 3D printed Nintendo Switch 2 model debuted at CES 2025. Nintendo comments the model is not official. The annual Consumer Electronics Show, CES, had electronics company Genki show off a mock-up of the much-anticipated Nintendo Switch 2. The model bases itself off previous rumors, such as large size comparable to a Steam Deck OLED, and the inclusion of magnets to attach Joy-Cons to the main console rather than a slide-in lock function. Nintendo went on to deny the model was in any way official, with Game Rant reporting, based off knowledge from French journalist Julien Tilloch, that Nintendo lawyers privately contacted Genki following the showcase. Tilloch's source expressed belief that no legal blowback will occur. The Verge's interview with Genki's CEO Eddie Tsai, who refused to share his source, says the Joy-Cons can be used similarly to a mouse, thanks to an optical sensor and an attachment. As the only confirmation from Nintendo on the functions of their new Switch being backwards compatible with games from the previous iteration, and no specifications on the hardware, it still remains unknown if any of the rumored or leaked details will mirror the final product. Now, shortly afterwards, there was an update on Monday, where multiple sources, including podcaster Nate the Hate and Video Games Chronicle, VGC, report that Nintendo will potentially reveal the Nintendo Switch 2 this upcoming Thursday. A showcase will reportedly occur in late February or early March. There was also, Nate the Hate was also saying how it seems as though Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to be on the platform, and there's also rumors abound that Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be on this new Switch.
Oh, that'd be a great place to play 7 Remake. There's also lots of talk, again, I think from Nate the Hate, many Xbox titles are coming to Switch 2 as well as PlayStation here within the next calendar year. Those titles being Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the Halo Master Chief Collection, and Gears of War Ultimate Edition, the first game, which all of that makes sense. Where do you want to go first with here? Because there have been Nintendo Switch 2 leaks abroad, like just the last 2 weeks. We're just getting one every day. There was one that I'm sorry if I missed it in your breakdown there. There was one. There's going to be a C button on there, but it's not like a capture button. It's a cast button, and it'll just remotely cast the image to the TV, so you can still play with the Switch undocked, but it'll be on the TV.
I did not hear that rumor. As a matter of fact, it's the fact that Genki releasing the model, they're implying that it's, at least somewhat official, not confirmed yet.
Yeah.
But it was, I think the company was called Killswitch last year or earlier in late 2023. I can't remember the exact time. Brought out a carry-on case that was supposedly for the Switch model.
Yeah.
And it was based off of some insider knowledge that it seems like this is also based off of. It seems to, I think they mentioned it kind of seemed like it would fit that carrying case, this new model.
Yeah.
So,
well, even the image you have here, I've seen this image a bunch of times from a number of different sources. We're at the point now where if there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
This is probably the Switch 2, and just everybody knows about it now. So, I think in terms of Nintendo responding to it, of course they're going to respond to it. They definitely said, it was definitely like an email from a lawyer saying, "Motherfucker, you've been NDA'd to shit. Why the fuck are you talking about this?" But there's no point in chasing down legal action because 95% of people are not hip to this. It's only the ones who are really, really paying attention who are paying attention. And 2, if the rumors are true that they are announcing it later this week, which would kind of kill any hypothetical futures that we could live in, then what's the point in chasing it for being a couple days early, right? And especially because more people are going to see whatever trailer they release or whatever announcement they release than who will have seen these leaks or these continued, people not being able to keep their mouths shut things. So I bring it to you, Connor. Is the Switch 2 announcement as imminent as Nate the Hate is saying? And in what form are we getting this announcement?
Well, Nintendo always does its kind of like direct moments where they just all of a sudden release some kind of video. So to that, I feel like they would have already had something made, a thorough, detailed, explanation of all the functions it has, maybe announcing some early video games, and then just being able to send that out whenever they deem fit to do so. I feel like it is very likely because since we're now getting to a point where we're seeing models of the damn thing, it might be good just to say, hey, here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's coming later this year. You already knew that. We'll do some more detailed explanations later on, but at least here it is. Stop making mock-ups of our fucking console. So
let's get in control of this narrative here.
Exactly. Because Nintendo, they're protective of their stuff, to say the least.
As they should be.
Yeah, some say overwhelmingly.
Oh, a little
so.
bit too much sometimes, but yeah, as they should be.
overzealous. But
Now, it's also worth saying, I saw another leak from today, I think also from Nate the Hate. Nate the Hate's kind of the guy on this one, right? Where it was said that they're announcing this week Showcase either in February or in March to kind of break it all down with a release date of somewhere in May or June, launching with Mario Kart 9. Later in the holiday season, we get our 3D Mario. Is what the rumors are now. That's what the talk of the town is now. And that's kind of, if you look at how they announced the first Switch, it was a trailer, I want to say late 2016, and then their whole presentation in February, and then the console launched in March or April, something like that. I think it was March. And so I think they're going to follow a similar pattern to that. I just don't know if they're going to follow the same pattern because the Switch was a wholly new concept, right? You had to sell that to the general public. Well, now the general public knows what the Switch is. So are we getting that announcement trailer again like we did the first time? I think obviously it worked the first time, so why not do it again, right? I'm talking the trailer, of course, where, you saw the Switch, being put in the dock, getting pulled out, someone taking it to a party,
colorful,
the Joy-Cons off, playing it with your friends on a balcony party or whatever, things like that. I could totally see them doing that verbatim, step by step again. I think that's fine. I just hope the presentation that comes after that trailer is better produced. The presentation the first time was not a well-produced presentation. And yeah, I think pretty obvious what is going to be shown right away. It is worth noting in that first trailer, we got the first few seconds of Super Mario Odyssey in that trailer.
Yeah.
So very likely that they're going to do that again. And again, Mario Odyssey launched in October. So totally makes sense that they would kind of follow that same pattern. I think the big premiere title is, of course, Mario Kart 9. Now, Mario Kart 8 did have a heavy presence in the initial Switch trailer, but keen-eyed viewers could spot some differences that showed that, hey, they were upgrading or updating Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, most notably having 2 items in your inventory as opposed to 1 and a couple of other smaller things. But that's beside the point. Here, I think it's like, hey, here's Mario Kart 9. Like, it's here. Come buy your Switch with your new Mario Kart. And then, a month or two later, they're going to break it down. They're going to announce the new 3D Mario. They're going to show off all of the updates that you can get with Tears of the Kingdom. We're going to get release dates for Metro Prime 4. And then we're going to get the price and pre-order at that later date. And then, I don't know. Does May or June feel right to you? I think it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Summertime, right before that summer. Get the kids, keep the kids inside.
Yeah. they do seem to like summer. It's a good month for Nintendo.
Well, I think it also makes sense because you're about to go on vacations. You need something to keep the kid busy in the car, on the drive to wherever, or on the flight or whatever. So here's the Switch 2 for you, and before you take your big long vacation.
And those kinds of ideas of when to release it during that period make sense because at the end of the day, Nintendo knows its place. It knows it's a household name. All they need to do is announce it in whatever way they decide to do that, and people will come running. I think most of what we're going to see is
the messaging also needs to be clear.
It does.
Because they've fumbled that bag before, specifically with the Wii U, they fumbled the messaging bag.
But that's why it's incredibly, I think, easier in this case, because it's based off of something everybody knows how it works now.
Yep.
Any changes they're going to have are going to be easily recognizable when compared to the old one, such as the Joy-Cons and the mouse function, of course, will be pretty easy to understand. Oh, it's like a little mouse you can use.
Do you believe that?
Yes. There's something called the Lenovo Legion that has something similar, and apparently it's kind of like based off of that. So
yeah, that's it's a Steam Deck, but not a Steam Deck.
Yeah. It's a weird little device, but
that'd be interesting.
It certainly would be.
So with that, do you think we're pushing for more third-party stuff? We're trying to break off a piece of that PC market.
That's the thing. Third-party and PC market in the sense of they want to expand the kinds of games you can play on Switch.
Yeah.
So like that rumor of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the fact that we don't have hardware specifications implies that that's going to be probably a bigger focus because, since games have gotten so advanced at this point, and the Switch and Nintendo titles in general, consoles in general, have always known to kind of lag behind that kind of, the current technological state that games are usually in. I feel like they kind of want to close that gap a little bit more to be more high fidelity in the sense it's kind of competing with the Switch, the Steam Decks and the PlayStation Portals. The trend to take already home consoles and turn them more portable. They still need to occupy that space of, well, we're still here and we're still the kings. Not just because we have titles that you can only get through us, but because we look good while doing so. And, that's, I think, really, really need to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's never cared about the technology side. They've always been behind the curve on that side of things, but they have always, of course, been innovators in just how you play video games. But they obviously revolutionized what a console can be with the Switch. No need to do that again with a Switch 2. So, yeah, let's close that technology gap a little bit. Let's have some heavy hitters on there. Skyrim was in the trailer for the first Switch. Skyrim on Switch, right? What is the equivalent to that marketing beat of, guys, you can play this game on a Switch on the go?
Baldur's Gate 3 on Switch.
That is on my list. I think that game might be a little too intensive in terms of processing power for anything Nintendo's going to do. But it would also make sense as to why we have the mouse thing is premiere for games like Baldur's Gate 3, which would be fantastic. I think it's Elden Ring. I think they show 15 seconds of Elden Ring on Switch being played on Switch too, and working in that sense. I don't think there's any other game that really makes sense to put on there. Red Dead Redemption 2 maybe, but why?
Because part of the whole bit is it looks super, super pretty.
Yeah.
No matter how good the Switch is going to be in terms of advancement in tech, it's not going to be the way you would get it on any other form of console.
Yeah. My only thing against Elden Ring is still relatively new, and Skyrim, by the time the Switch came around, was kind of old.
It was, yeah.
But we had like 2 or 3 more years on it at that point, right? So there's a chance, but like, what is in that realm of what Skyrim was back then now? We already have The Witcher 3 on Switch 1, so it's not that, right? So it would just have to be Elden Ring, right? Like, I don't see another big, hey, this is a big showcase title that you want to play on the go.
If they're even thinking about that, I mean,
they should be if they want to be competitive. Now, of course, they always compete with themselves, so that's a separate thing. But they are dealing with not only the family gamer or the younger kids, but they are competing and trying to get the attention of more hardcore gamers. They always have been. They've always had something. That's why Skyrim was there. That's why
online kind of got more implemented.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why they are competing in that subscription service space. Not as heavily as the other guys are, but they're competing. They're in there, and they arguably have a really good deal, right? So they want to keep doing that. So I think you get something like that. What's it called?
Switch 2.
I think it's. I agree. I think
everyone calls it that already.
Listen, man, you have the opportunity to get cute and do things like the Super Switch, or I saw somebody say, man, they should call it. Not bad. They should call it the Switch and have 2 eyes in it.
No.
Yeah, that's terrible. But it's
Super
cute.
Switch is fine.
It's cute. The Switch is cute because you got the Roman numeral 2, and then also Wii is in there, so it works on a couple of different layers. It's cute. It's cute. Don't do that.
I'm not going to say it like that each time.
Switch.
Yeah. Kill myself.
No, yeah. Call it the Switch 2. Let's sell some units.
No. Better name.
Yeah?
Switch 2.0.
Don't do that. No, just Switch with a giant 2 on it. I think that's all you need. The Joy-Cons. Magnetic instead of the rail slide and click thing. You got to change the iconic snap now, right? Because it's going to be a different noise.
Probably. Well, it's magnets, so it might be like nice clacking magnets. Like some cooler
clunk.
Probably more.
But then you got to change. You still got to change the sound.
I think it's going to be different. I think that's going to be one of the ways they set it apart. Why not?
Instead of the up and down vertical click, it's a like left and right horizontal click, maybe, and you show the screen on it or something.
I mean, because visually, it's obviously look from the model that we're seeing, and most likely what it's going to be like. It's going to look very similar to what a Switch already is.
Yeah.
So they're going to have some kind of difference besides just the color and the bigger size. Agreed. And I think magnets. That's going to be the next snappy noise. I don't know if that picked
clunk.
up. Yeah.
Clunk. No.
That'd be good. I like that.
It'll be interesting. Finally, Connor, the last question I have on this topic. I think we're getting a base model probably about $350, right? And it's going to be just a better Switch 2. The screen is going to be a regular LED screen, or what do you even call them?
OLED?
No, you're not. I don't think you're getting OLED on the base model thing. I think this is my question to you: are they going to do this? I think they're going to have a secondary model with an OLED screen, $450.
Those scumbags.
Hey, man, people want it. They already have an OLED Switch 1. Why don't we have an OLED Switch 2 at launch? I understand that's not the one you want to. You want to keep the price down to stay competitive and sell the 100 million units that you always sell, right? But you can't do that off of $450. You can with $350 though. But you've also got tech connoisseurs who are sick of you being so far behind the times. There's no way they don't hear the criticism of you are behind the times all the time, right? So ideally, to kind of quell those, you have a secondary model, $450 OLED screen. That makes sense to you?
It does, but I feel like they just won't do it.
They won't do it?
I think they're just going to focus on
wait another year before they give us OLED again?
Hey, why not stagger it? Get those suckers that buy the first one.
But yeah,
and then
they're going to buy a second one.
The losers. That's what we call those guys. Because they want money. Nintendo wants money at the end of the day.
But that OLED screen would be so nice, though.
But do they need to do that right now or get better games out? More games out? Be their focus?
I think they can do both.
They could, but I don't think
I mean, you're absolutely right. Sell us the base model. You already have the OLED in storage. It's just now we got to wait a year before we can buy that one. People are going to buy both. That makes sense, too. I could see that coming, but I just think that's a very disappointing route to take.
We'll probably react to it live, or at least I will.
The trailer, the first announcement. Excuse me. We will. I can't get my digestion under control. We will react to that one live, or we'll have a reaction up on YouTube. Yeah. So make sure you're subscribed to YouTube to see our reaction to that when it eventually comes. What is your hype factor for Switch 2?
Oh, I'm gonna get on screen when we do live stream of the announcement, and I'll pog face the entire time, so everybody knows how excited I am.
You're real excited, is what you're saying.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to being able to get a new piece of tech because I love the Switch, but it's starting to show its age, and I want it to stay in a condition where it's not gonna be trash when the next one comes out, which is clearly what's going to happen. So I can have that off to the side, use it for maybe specific purposes, but then have my new console that I use as my main way to play Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And, I want Nintendo to be able to cement itself as not just a game that makes Nintendo titles, but also that kind of is a lower end way to play some of the new games, depending on how great their technological advancement. So, I'm very interested. I'm not like super excited to play it. I'm more excited for the games that are going to come from it than the Switch 2 itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon excited. I cannot wait for the day that I can throw my first Switch into storage and never look at it again.
Disrespectful.
I listen. I loved the Switch when it came out. It was innovative. It was fantastic. I got to take my games on the go. But I'm sick of it, man. It's so far behind the times. It launched behind the times. And all the Joy-Con slides don't work anymore. My Joy-Cons pop off, and that interrupts gameplay all the time because they bring up the little menu of like, oh, you still playing? Connect your Joy-Cons. All the time that happens. It's so annoying. I've got scratches on it, dings and dinks on it that I don't know where it came from. There's a scratch on my screen that came from sliding the thing into the dock. I think the dock is a cheap piece of plastic. I don't like it. And yeah, I'm just sick of looking at a fuzzy image. The image is so fuzzy. I want a new UI, a new homepage for the Switch. I've always hated the OG homepage, which we've had the whole time. Yeah, I'm ready for new. I'm very much ready for new, and I'm very excited to get it. I want to play Tears of the Kingdom on a new Switch and have it run better, like all of these things. Yeah, I'm ready for new.
Throw it in the bin, why don't you?
I'll throw you in the bin.
I just can't. You talk about how much you love this industry and games.
I do.
And you just disrespect core principles of it.
I
Which is
can still play my old stuff on the new stuff.
You just talk about it like trash. Talk about it like it's an old woman. You can get a
Wow.
to pasture.
I didn't bring a woman in.
I didn't say. Oh, I said. Well, I did because that's how you treat them because you're a misogynist.
Moving on to topic number 2, Connor. The DICE Awards have given their nominations for the 28th annual DICE Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you don't know, the DICE Awards are the video game awards that are actually nominated and voted upon by video game developers. So, if you are someone who points at Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards and goes, y'all don't get it right, that's not right, this is the one you should be paying attention to. Because this is the one that's a little more prestigious, a little more industry-focused, and a little more focused on awards and what actually was the best in its different categories. So, of course, Connor, I've got the list up right here, right now. I'm going to have both of us on screen so that we can both react to this. You haven't seen the list. I've seen quite a bit of the list, so I have a pretty good idea of what's on there, but I haven't dove in deep. I'm just going to read through them all. Stop me whenever something interests you.
Yeah, I will do that.
Of course, 28th Annual DICE Awards are happening Thursday, February 13th at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. You can watch the stream on IGN. I will be watching it at some point. I'm actually going to watch it in full this year. Usually I just watch clips and then get the results and stuff. I will watch the full presentation when I have the time. I think I'm working while they're live, so I'll go get it later. Starting off with Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Neva, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Interesting category.
That's a super interesting category. I don't mean to stop on the first category, but that's a fascinating one.
Well, it's unique. We don't see it at the main Game Awards. So.
Right, yeah. To me, Rebirth should kind of have this in the bag.
I think so as well. Space Marine 2 is amazingly high fidelity. So is Astrobot, but the size of the games makes
the number
Final
of
Fantasy VII
animations
more impressive. Yeah. And there's so much stuff to do in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
That it has to be that.
I would assume.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
I mean, that the observatory scene.
One
of the best looking scenes of the year.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. The whole final sequence.
Yeah.
Jesus. Outstanding Achievement in Art Direction, Black Myth Wukong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Lego Horizon Adventures, The Plucky Squire, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
I can't help but feel like it's the weaker compared to the
No, I love what they've chosen here. This is great. In Art Direction, Lego Horizon, Plucky Squire, and Senua's Saga, awesome. You would have to talk to me about Indiana Jones and even Black Myth, but I feel like those are just fine.
Yeah, Black Myth is actually more impressive than I think other people give it credit for, mainly because of those animations. But Indiana Jones, yeah, not so much. And Lego Horizon Adventures, I still feel like there's others that did it better as far as art direction.
Outstanding Achievement in Character, 1000X Resist, The Watcher, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Yuffie. Interesting pick.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Dr. Henry Indiana Jones, Indica, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Senua.
It's kind of basic, but Indiana Jones is kind of hard.
Right?
Yeah. They do him so well in that game.
I'm saying, right? Like
you're not saying. You haven't played the game the same way I played the game. You're not saying.
I'll play it when it comes to PlayStation. Or maybe Senua. I could see Senua as well.
That as well. Yeah. That works as well.
Yuffie's a weird pick.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of a standout character except maybe Tifa in terms of the that kind of category.
In character?
What?
I mean,
Aerith, I guess so.
Aerith is the one.
But Tifa, they do more interesting things with her.
I agree.
In the course of the plot.
I agree.
Either way,
I don't understand why Aerith is getting the praise this time around. It should be Tifa.
It should be, yeah.
The way that Barrett got it last time, deserved.
Yep.
It should be Tifa this time.
Yeah.
Sure, Aerith is there. Sure, Aerith is doing great set, but I feel like Aerith takes a back seat for most of the game
until the end,
and then she's like, "Whoa, yeah, yeah." When they put her, when you get to spoilers, but when you get to the Temple of the Ancients, yeah, they put her front and center, and the last 8 hours of the game were all about her. But the 50 hours before that were all about everybody else.
Golden Saucer as well. Like at the end, it was when it was bringing her in.
I had Tifa, so
No, she was doing the performance though.
Oh, you're right. That performance was great. It was a great performance. But even then, Tifa and Cloud holding hands, being cute.
That was I know. Oh yeah.
Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition. I love this list. Astrobot, Helldivers 2, Monument Valley 3, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Star Wars Outlaws.
Guys,
where's Final Fantasy? Where's Metaphor?
Why Star Wars Outlaws?
Star Wars had good music.
What's the good thing about it? Yeah.
I think that was the one thing I said was really great about that game was the music.
Oh. Huh.
Music was really fucking good in that game.
Well, I remember Hellblade having some interesting use of music, but
yeah,
I feel like I liked Helldivers 2 the most out of here. It's
the thing about Helldivers 2 is it's the drop music. The
Yeah.
drop music is so heavy, but the other ones I'm like, oh, those are all around better in my opinion.
it fills you with the sense of I'm a representative of Super Earth.
Yeah, that drop music, ba-na-na-na, da-na, yeah, epic. But if you talk entire music composition, unless are they talking like a specific song? It doesn't look like it. No, they're just talking the whole thing. Yeah, for me, this is Astrobot's thing to lose. Astrobot had great music.
You know what? I by the way, I changed my mind. Yeah, Outlaw shouldn't be on that at all. Outstanding achievements. I mean, an original music composition because it sounds
it's original music.
Is it it's not like
it's not Star Wars music.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
you don't get Star Wars. You don't get Star Wars music in non-movie properties.
You kind of do with Jedi Survivor.
No, you don't. You get Jedi Survivor music. they evoke Star Wars, but it's not. You're not getting.
Well, no, I'm not saying.
Yeah, you're not getting any of that. Outstanding achievement in audio design: Frostpunk 2, Helldivers 2, Monument Valley 3, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Still Wakes the Deep. I've only played Helldivers on this list. You would have to tell me about Senua's Saga, but I would assume Senua's Saga because that's what they advertise themselves as, and they continue to do great things. Monument Valley 3 pulling all these fucking nominations, not getting me any goddamn points on the fucking Fantasy Critic.
Silent Hill 2 should be here.
Oh, you're so right. Silent Hill 2 should be here.
Kind of weird.
That's so upsetting. Astrobot should be here. Final Fantasy should be here.
Yeah, I can appreciate those other games more. Well, maybe not Monument Valley.
I haven't played. I just haven't played Frostpunk Monument or Still Wakes the Deep. But if the devs say it, that's what the devs say. Outstanding achievement in story: 1000X Resist, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Metaphor Refantasio, Still Wakes the Deep, and Thank Goodness You're Here. Would have liked to have seen Final Fantasy VII on this list.
Yeah.
I understand why it's not, though.
It's an achievement story.
Sure.
It Still Wakes the Deep, too. I think they're... So far, this list seems like it's kind of weirdly pulling games that no one talked about in terms of those qualities of it.
The developers, man.
I guess so.
We're not in the popularity contest anymore. This is what the devs are actually saying when they look around and say this is what's going on. Outstanding technical achievement. That's weird. Astrobot, Batman Arkham Shadow, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Probably Astrobot.
Could be Senua. Warhammer's weird to me. Could be Batman. Batman VR making it work. Nobody's getting motion sickness and still capturing that Arkham gameplay experience. Could be Batman. Action Game of the Year: Batman Arkham Shadow, Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade would have my personal vote of this list. Adventure Game of the Year: 1000X Resist, Animal Well, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Prince of Persia would have my vote in this list.
Adventure, yeah. Which is kind of sad for Indiana, but...
Indiana still has that chance. Family Game of the Year: Astrobot, Cat Quest 3, Little Kitty Big City, The Plucky Squire, and Super Mario Party Jamboree. Probably going to be Astrobot. Wouldn't mind a Plucky Squire or a Little Kitty Big City win here. Fighting Game of the Year: Blazing Strike, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns, Tekken 8, and Underdogs.
I can't see it not being Tekken 8.
I don't know. It's that year. It's the year of Tekken 8.
Only 3 for this one.
Yeah, Racing Game of the Year: F1 24, MotoGP 24, and Night Runners Prologue. I heard F1 this year was disappointing. Role-playing Game of the Year: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Refantasio. I think it's Metaphor.
Probably.
Sports Game of the Year: EA Sports College Football 26. At least they fucking understand it. EA Sports FC 25, MLB The Show 24, NBA 2K 25.
Sports games.
Strategy / Sim of the Year: Balatro, Caves of Quad?
That's so fucking funny. Know how you pronounce that?
Quad?
Caves of Quad. Caves
Quad.
of Cud. Caves of Cood. Caves of Cum.
Okay.
People have said.
Frostpunk 2, Tactical Breach Wizards. Oh, that's a cool title. I might look at that. And Satisfactory. Probably going to be Balacho. Could see it being Satisfactory. Could see it being Frostpunk 2. Immersive Reality Technical Achievement. Alien Rogue Incursion. Batman Arkham Shadow. Skydance's Behemoth. Starship Home. And Underdogs. Immersive Reality Game of the Year. Alien Rogue Incursion. Batman Arkham Shadow. Escaping Wonderland. Skydance's Behemoth and Underdogs. Outstanding achievement for an independent game. Animal Well, Balatro, Grun, Indica, and Mouthwashing. Probably Balatro. Mobile Game of the Year, Balatro, Halls of Torment, Monument Valley 3, Paper Trail, Wuthering Waves, probably Balatro or Monument Valley 3.
Oh, I've seen so much people talk about how much they love playing it on the go.
Oh, it's Balatro's so good, man. You should play Balatro. Online Game of the Year, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. This could kind of go any way for me.
I think it's Marvel Rivals and Helldivers 2 are the
those are
runners.
front runners. Yeah, but I could see any of them.
Oh, yeah, maybe not Call of Duty.
I could see Call of Duty. Outstanding achievement in game design: Animal Well, Astrobot, Balacho, Helldivers 2, UFO 50. That's hard.
That is a hard one, yeah.
That's hard. Not Helldivers is where I'm going to lay my hat. The other four, maybe. Outstanding achievement in game direction: 1000X Resist, Animal Well, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Riven, and Thank Goodness You're Here. And finally, Game of the Year: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers 2, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle. I appreciate that list more than the Game Awards list for Game of the Year. To me, it's just missing. We're just missing Final Fantasy VII and Metaphor ReFantazio. For whatever reason, those two games not getting a lot of love at the DICE Awards. But I like that list. I think it's a cool list. It's creative. Having Indiana Jones in there, having Helldivers in there, that's a good list to me.
Yeah, it's a nice list. It's not a lot of games I'm super familiar with, so whatever their metrics are, I guess they'll decide who wins.
Yeah. This is, of course, the award show that in 2019 gave it to Untitled Goose Game.
They did, didn't they?
They did, because the devs loved it. And you know what? More power to them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the DICE Awards. I'm going to watch it. I'm excited for it. Let us know down in the comments below how you feel about it. Of course, again, these are the awards that people in the industry actually vote on and curate. So if you care culturally about video games, these are the awards to pay attention to. Moving on to topic number 3, Connor, your second penny of the day. I'm excited to talk about this and hear about it, so go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Yes, ex-Annapurna Interactive staff create new studio, inheriting IP from Private Division. Private Division was sold by Take-Two Interactive the previous November. The unknown buyer of the recently sold Private Division has been revealed to be private equity firm Haveli Investments, according to Bloomberg, who would go on to fund the creation of an unnamed company with 25 former Annapurna Interactive employees. Haveli hasn't responded for comment, and the source wishes to remain anonymous. The deal alleges that the former staff will lead the distribution of Private Division's Tales of the Shire before moving on to overseeing the Kerbal Space Program series and the unannounced Game Freak title, codenamed Project Bloom. Private Division's other published titles include The Outer Worlds, No Rest for the Wicked, and Penny's Big Breakaway. The Annapurna Interactive staff, serving as Annapurna Pictures' video game publishing division, carried out a mass exodus from the company last September following failed internal discussions between Annapurna Pictures founder Megan Ellison and Annapurna Interactive president Nathan Gary to convert their gaming division into an independent body. It's revealed that Haveli, in its purchase of Private Division, obtained 20 of its employees, with the current leadership recommending workers be on the lookout for other job opportunities as layoffs appear inevitable. So, it wasn't that long ago when Take-Two sold Private, and, it's disappointing that those staff members are going to be laid off to a certain extent, but, on the other flip side, at least those developers that left Annapurna are getting work elsewhere, and they're able to do it under a new studio that's not owned by Tencent, that's not owned by I'm blanking on their goddamn name, the worst one. Embracer Group.
Embracer Group.
It's not owned by, any... well, it's owned by a larger entity, of course, but not in the way we've come to expect from the games industry. So, while there aren't the biggest titles, I'm interested in what Game Freak is doing, since, I wouldn't think they'd be working with a Pokemon creator on something. Usually you only think of them as being the Pokemon guys. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out and what the experience of Annapurna is going to bring to that team. But, I just found this to be pretty interesting news of, what exactly is going on behind the scenes.
What grabs my attention here is now we're getting another arm of these big indie publisher branches. We have the Devolver Digitals, which is definitely the biggest, and Annapurna, which is right there amongst them. And now, we're getting this third arm developing, in the process of developing and becoming something, which is fascinating to me. Because to me, this reads as we are getting a whole new generational wave of publishers coming in. I believe Annapurna made a statement late last year about how they want to kind of start moving on to bigger projects and getting, kind of some AAA projects under their belt in terms of publishing and so forth. So we're seeing sort of a evolution, a rise with these indie publisher arms into ambitions of being a little bit bigger, doing a little bit, having bigger titles and making a little bit more impact throughout the year, which I think is fascinating. So to kind of fill that space, hey, here's a smaller group working with the smaller guys so that space is still filled. This is the thing to me that always says, even though things are bad right now, like, space is still being filled. Jobs are still being made. Jobs are still being created. And there's still space for the little guy in this industry, which is exciting to me, someone who loves the industry and loves seeing the little guys win.
I know. It's very rare to see that happen. I know Saber Interactive, they were recently under Gearbox, was it? Mm-hmm. And they got free. They were able to do their own thing, and clearly with Space Marine 2, they're already on the track of standing on their own 2 feet without the need just to have some big money backer behind them.
Gearbox or 2K?
2K, it might have been. No, 2K I think owns Gearbox, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah. See, that's the problem, is that you never know who owns who. And because one company who you associate maybe with Borderlands might be associated with far more than you might expect. But
no. This to me, good news. Mm-hmm. Interesting news, exciting news. There's not a lot to be said about this just because so much is shrouded in mystery right now. We do not have confirmations on anything. But I am someone who always is willing to give a new indie game a shot, to try a new indie game out that's paying a little bit of attention to what's happening here. Not as much as I probably should, or because I just don't have time to play all these games. If you would so kindly subscribe and drop a like, and maybe we can start getting some ad revenue so that I could have more time to play video games for the purpose of creating more content on this channel. That'd be lovely. So make sure you like and subscribe and all that. But this to me reads as something that just shows that, like, hey, we've taken a lot of L's recently. Mm-hmm. I read a story today that some smaller dev studios got shut down today, and all of that's really, really unfortunate. But
Rocksteady also laid off more employees. We found that out. Suicide Squad developer. Ideally, from understanding, they kind of were made to work on a game they aren't used to making.
And it did not make money back. It's the unfortunate side of the business part of all of this. But this shows to me that, like, hey, there's still a pulse here. We still got a beating heart in the middle of this. There's still space for, yes, the big guys, but also the small guys. So all that's very, very exciting to me. Moving on to our final topic of the day, my second penny of the day. Square Enix enacts employee protection policy to combat customer harassment. Square Enix announced a new policy this past Friday at the issue of harassment at the hands of disgruntled customers. Square Enix lists what specifically constitutes as harassment, as well as undue demand. Harassment: acts of violence, violent behavior, abusive language, intimidation, coercion, duress. There's a lot of things here.
A lot of stuff.
2pennygamesnews.substack.com to see that. Undue demand: unreasonable changes of exchange of product or request for monetary compensation. Unreasonable response or request for an apology, including face-to-face response or request for an apology specifying the position of our employee or partners, excessive requests for the provision of products and services exceeding socially accepted norms, unreasonable and excessive demands for punishment of our employees. Square Enix justifies the policy, writing, quote, such actions do not only prevent our employee and partners from engaging in their work with a sense of security, but also causes disruptions to other customers. Square Enix will not tolerate harassment and will take action as necessary. Square Enix clarifies that harmful actions and socially unacceptable behavior can serve as grounds to deny products and services if an individual is found to engage in such conduct. Additionally, they define actions that are, quote, egregious or with malicious intent, that the company reserves its right to take severe legal action. Instances of customer harassment can be found in the industry, such as in July of 2024, where Sega successfully sued an unnamed person for, quote, excessive, slanderous, and insulting social media comments directed at an employee. A more famous instance of harassment occurred in 2020, where The Last of Us Part 2 voice actress Laura Bailey received death threats over her performance of the controversial character Abby, taking to X, at the time Twitter, to share the vile messages. Yeah. Okay. You brought up that. The Laura Bailey statement. She had a bad run there because she also got shit for Call of Duty Vanguard and Marvel's Avengers and just a couple of things. So she was on a good run in terms of like the acting.
Oh, okay.
And the roles she was getting. I mean, Abby, Black Widow, lead in a Call of Duty game. Like, it just, like, kept going and is continuing to go because she's still getting great work. Laura Bailey, my favorite in the industry right now. But I do remember a lot of those stories going. And as far as Square Enix goes, so most of this just comes down to they're willing to take legal action against harassers?
Yes. So if it's, like, particularly severe stuff, like, hey, they're threatening somebody.
Yeah.
Then at that point, it's, they're really going to take legal action to sue them. Kind of how Sega did it, recently. Otherwise, it's more about denying services. Because the interesting thing about this
how do you do that?
Not just you have your right to preserve. Companies have the right to deny services if they see fit. And so if they're constantly getting unreasonable demands for, hey, you deserve to return this product, and they keep having to engage with all of these customer support complaints, it takes away from other, doing work from other
on customer service
issues.
side. Okay, in my head I was like, how are you going to stop me from buying your video games?
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. There was the interesting part about all of this is it's not specifically saying, are people who make the games. It's from top to bottom, everybody who works in the company, from those developers to voice actors and actresses to people who deal with the mundanity of dealing with customers having issues with your product and whatnot. It's pretty comprehensive, which is good because. Especially when people can become a lot more aggressive, to say the least, nowadays online. It's good to kind of put forward some guidelines of, hey, you can, say disparaging comments, even, overly critical comments, but keep it within the confines of what we socially acceptable.
You got the right to free speech, but you also got the right to get these hands, motherfucker.
Legally, and
legally, in a court of law.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into all of this. Like, all of this sounds good to me. Square Enix has a right to protect its employees, protect its people, and I believe has the right to chase after people who are actively doing their company or their employees harm. Makes no problem with me. Of course, what is the extent of that quote unquote power? I then would turn it over to the court system and hope that the court system just of course makes the right choice. And judges throw out cases all the time, but I think for anything to hit the radar of a company the size of Square Enix, like, you got to be doing some nasty stuff online to be doing all that, right? So you're looking at death threats, you're looking at a bunch of racist remarks, you're looking at just consistent, I'm chasing this guy down to do as evil things as I can to this person because somebody at the top made a decision that I don't like, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, big ups to you, Square Enix. Protect your people. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am into video games, and if you're also into video games, you should make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you follow us on social medias. Links are in the description down below as well. Of course, that is your news for the week. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel to see if that Switch 2 reveal does happen. You want to see our reactions to it. We're going to have breakdowns. We're going to have conversations. We're going to talk about it. This is the first real big console launch since we started the channel. PS5-ish a little bit, but we weren't covering stuff with as much we weren't on top of it. We were like, hey, when it comes, it comes type thing with the PS5. So this would be the first real one that hey, I'm pre-ordering that bitch. I'm getting it day one. I'm delivering, all of those reviews and stuff to you. So make sure you subscribe, all that. The coverage will continue. Make sure you subscribe and watch the Piggy Bank, which comes out Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time. And keep your eyes out for something special. Something special is on the way. Something that we are going to record offline here in just a few moments. So until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, and have a great